Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. It's that time again, folks. Time for the Take a Break with Drake, 7 a.m. And here he is in the studio. Look at him. Isn't he shiny? Yes, he is America's Bible teacher. He's excited today to bring on a special guest. Can't wait for you to meet. You'll see on Take a Break with Drake.
Good day to you. We have got someone today who I was in college with, close to 40 years ago. We both went to college 41 years ago and met up at Simpson. And this guy, I'd lost contact with him until just recently, but he is taking the good news and giving hope in places that will amaze you. Hello, Eric. Hello, Aaron. Yes, the saints have arrived. But
and good morning, Angela. I'm sure you're out there.
Yeah, but you'll be stunned where this guy's been. So here's Keith Hill from Simpson.
Okay.
He's in the Carolinas now, though. But what a journey it's. Okay, we have Keith Hill here, a fellow triumphant B student from Simpson. Yes. We 3.0ers. Well, actually, I was just a couple hundredths under a 3.0, but I can't talk about it. It's too painful. Well, we both went to college at the same time, but you went straight to Simpson, and I showed up 2.5 years later. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we were at
79 to 83.
Yeah, we were at Simpson together for 3 semesters.
Okay.
What did you do summer 82?
Summer of 82, I was married. I got married in July of 81. So I know one summer I worked on campus as a school driver.
I remember you driving.
I did all the errands for the college.
I remember you driving, yep.
And then my senior year, I know I worked at UPS.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
So, but that 82 summer,
I didn't mean to.
I probably worked on campus that year.
Okay.
Probably worked for Gary Gus, the maintenance guy.
Were you a kid? I mean, was it a long trek? I went about 350 miles to San Francisco to go to college. How far did you go?
I was from the Santa Rosa Christian Missionary Alliance Church, just 2 hours away.
It was a small it was a morning trip getting your stuff down to college. For me, it was a full 6-7 hour drive. But you also played basketball.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Well, I just loved sports growing up, and it was so cool that I got to play college basketball for 4 years. And the funny thing is, my freshman year, only 8 guys showed up for the team for tryouts. So we all made it.
Yeah.
There were no cuts.
I should have cut myself. You know, Keith, I remember watching you play because I would announce your games, and I got so into it that the coach asked me to please tone it down because I just got so, into it. I was like MC Hammer over at the A's games about the same time. But I was so bad at basketball. I played for 5.5 years, and I still hadn't scored a point. I was still dribbling with my wrist. I airballed a layup. I airballed a free throw once. The bench was laughing so hard they're falling out. They're falling over. But you were good. I mean, you were fun to watch.
Well, yeah, I guess I had a love for the game, and I was a smart player, kind of a coach on the floor.
Yeah.
And but it was fun. It was a fun experience with Paul Kress, our coach.
Yeah.
And he was my psychology teacher. He was the men's dean. Talk about multitasking.
Yeah. Well, you remember, I mean, your style reminded me of John Stockton or Gail Goodrich. Does that ring any bells?
Oh, yeah. John Stockton was one of the greatest point guards. I think he had the NBA record for assists.
Yes.
I think Jason Kidd might have broke that record. But anyway, I was looking to pass first and shoot second.
Yeah. Now there's some numbers hitting me now. You just said married summer 81. You're having your 39th anniversary here soon.
That's right, July 11th.
Good grief. I've been out of pull-ups that long, and you're having your anniversary. Okay. That's great. That's awesome. 40th. Now, listen, you got to have some plans for your 40th. What do you, a little cruise to the Mediterranean, or can you get away?
Well, if we can get away, my wife's bucket list dream would be to see the Northern Lights, but you can't do that in the summertime. So we've never been to Hawaii. Believe it or not, in ministry, of all the things I've done, I've been in every state but Hawaii in the United States.
Okay.
And a lot of those were ministry trips, believe it or not. It's incredible how the Lord has blessed us.
We got to do something. We got to pass the hat. When people hear you 20 minutes from now what you're doing, we just may get a hat to go around and start your GoFundMe to Kauai or something. Go to the Garden Island. Go to Garden Island. It's just, oh my goodness. But so I
love gardens.
Yeah, you went, and they filmed Jurassic Park there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cool. And it's Wild Island, wild pigs, wild chickens. It's just something. And some of that bacon is so old, it's Jurassic pork. Okay, my wife says don't pop the peas so much. I get excited, but anyhow, so you finished at Simpson '83, and next step was to where?
Hawthorne, California, Hawthorne Alliance Church, to be assistant/youth pastor.
And you had a Bible degree, right?
Had a Bible degree from Simpson.
Minor, what was your minor?
Oral communication.
Oh, so yeah, speaking, that helps in ministry.
Yes, it does.
So you were there.
I thought I was going to be a senior pastor, but the Lord changed all that.
Yeah, you kept more in a lot of the auxiliary assignments of ministry, but Hawthorne to Rosemond. And now we heard the Rosemond story just 6 days ago, from Jim Randall. Jumpin' Jim Randall told his story, and you remember Jim. He
oh, yes.
Yeah, he came to Simpson the same time you did, I think. No,
he might have been a year after me.
He was a year after you. But where did you meet up again?
Well, I was instrumental in hiring him at Rosemond Christian School there in the Antelope Valley with Bill Vaughn, who was the pastor. Phil Vaughn was the youth pastor.
Uh-huh.
And they were my wife went to Bill Vaughn's church in Paradise in junior high and high school. So that was the connection. I got a ministry job because of my wife.
Well, hallelujah. We all arrive because of our wives.
Isn't that true? So anyway, yes. So I taught for 2 years there. Then I became principal. Lee Gregory, who was a pastor in
Medford now.
Medford, Oregon, I think.
Medford, Oregon.
For many, many years. I think he's still there,
He's
maybe.
Still there, yeah.
But anyway, he was principal, and then he left, and they made me principal. And I did that for 3 more years, and then Jim, I needed to hire another learning center supervisor for the junior high and high school, and we hired Jim.
What was the salient picture? What was the salient picture in your heart that made you say, "We've got to get Jim Randall up here"? What was the hook? I mean, Jim's just a rich soul. What made you think, "Oh, we got to have Jim"?
To be honest, I can't even remember the circumstances. If he called us, if we called him, how, I knew, I knew Jim from Simpson. I knew Martina, but I can't remember, who called who. The Lord just led us together somehow.
Yeah.
But I can't remember the details of that.
The ways of God. So what? Now, I remember you told me you went to Occidental, north of the Golden Gate Bridge, about 60 miles, 70 miles?
Yes. We were in Rosemond for 6 years, and then the Lord led us to go back closer to home. My parents lived in Santa Rosa at the time.
California.
And so we worked at a little community church, non-denominational church called Cazadero Community Church by Alliance Redwoods. And they had a Christian school that met at Alliance Redwoods. And so I ran that school for 4 years. We averaged like 30 to 33 students, real tiny.
Wow. So you get a Bible degree, but you're doing a lot of education, Christian education.
Correct. It was the accelerated Christian education system. So it was different than the lecture style of teaching.
Yeah. Well, and that gets called ACE, right?
Right, that's the initials they go by.
So you went from being at this Christian. Were you doing ACE at Rosemond?
Correct. Yes.
Oh, okay. So you were doing that, and then that took you to Occidental, and then you told me something that made my skin crawl. Wait a minute, we forgot something here. One of your basketball stories.
Okay.
This is off. This is out of order, and I don't even care. You played. Now, when I went to San Quentin, I was an honored guest. But you went there to entertain. You played basketball at San Quentin because Simpson played the San Quentin team. I remember you told the story in chapel. Say it.
Yes, for 2 years. The first year we went to San Quentin, and you walk. Did you ever watch Get Smart?
Oh yeah, with the doors.
Get Smart show. Remember at the end of the show where he's walking through all the gates and they close and they open and they close.
Yeah.
That's what really happens when you go visit a jail, a maximum security prison. So you go through all these things, and then you go through this courtyard, where people are yelling at you and whistling at you, and then you go into this big old giant gym, and at the first part of the gym is this blood-stained boxing ring, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, what's the basketball game going to be like? And so then we played them in basketball, and we only committed 7 fouls that game. Now, usually we probably commit, I don't know,
a quarter, 7 fouls a quarter.
Basketball game, maybe 18, 20 fouls for the whole team. I don't know. But 7 fouls. We were so scared to play tough defense against these criminals, And then the referees were also the inmates.
Whoa.
But I think they tended to be on our side than their side.
The refs did?
Yes, and 1 year we won, and the 1 year we lost, and I can't remember which was which, but it was quite an experience.
Yeah, now one inmate, you blocked a shot on him or something. You told this story in chapel. I remember, and Keith, I'm not kidding you. I still have the notes. You spoke in chapel, spring '83, 37 years ago. This last April or March. I still have the notes, but to tell what happened, you blocked a shot, or you hampered his mojo, or whatever the phrase is. What happened?
Well, I don't know. I remember this big guy that was like probably 6'5", and he would go for a slam dunk, and almost every time he would go, he would end up traveling, taking 3 steps to do it, and his inmate referee would call it on him, and he wasn't too happy when it happened. And probably when I blocked a shot, I probably apologized for it.
Had you ever done that before?
No, not before or since. I never apologized for blocking a shot or stealing a ball.
Okay, I'm going to fill in a blank that you're not doing. But you blocked a shot, something got called, this and that, and you're all on the sides waiting for a free throw. What's it? The key? You're on the side of the key?
Oh, yeah, the lane.
And yeah, the lane. This guy leans over to you and this guy leans over to you and says, "You're gonna die." Right?
I don't really remember that. But
you said
it's
that
in my notes.
I've got the notes.
37 years ago.
You said that, and you're not some monster. You're just 5'8".
Oh,
what are
no.
you?
I'm 5'9".
You're 5'9".
When I was playing basketball at Simpson, I weighed 140.
You weighed so you're 140 pounds. You're probably most of a foot shorter than him, easily 100 pounds lighter than him, and he says to you that he's going to kill you. You're inside San Quentin. There's a bloody ring down at the end of the thing, and you're playing. You're playing for this sweet little Christian college where, oh golly, and you were thinking you had to be thinking, oh, I'm going to get out of here alive. I think. Right?
It was scary. It really was. There was a lot of fear that day.
Yeah. There was a guy on my high school football team that kind of went twisted after high school, ended up in San Quentin for drugs, and he got killed at San Quentin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you played basketball there. He played to the end. He played for keeps, and he lost it. He got killed at San Quentin. Oh, sad stuff. But hey, it's neat. You can shine the light and bring some joy to the thing.
Right.
from Occidental, and now you told me you had a speaker in your church. You're in Occidental. Jumping back 10 years to the late 80s, early 90s. You're in Occidental, and you had a speaker there that made you go, "Holy moly, we're not in Mayberry here in this part of the country." And didn't you have who spoke at your church?
We had a lady that was a former white witch. Up in Northern California, up in the Redwoods, there was a lot of witchcraft that went on, and a lady that found the Lord spoke at our church and gave her testimony and basically talked about how, the white witches, we do good spells. That's what they would teach them. You do good spells. But she talked about how it was all demonic and it was satanic and all the things of these people that they can drum up voices and your relatives and seances and all that. And she said it's demonic, and it's demons that you see. It's not family members.
Yeah,
but the devil has power in these things. He's the prince of the earth.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And it sounds like she just made it pretty clear. Hey, folks, leave the witchcraft thing alone. Stay out of it.
Definitely.
The Bible tells you, man, don't even go there.
Right.
Don't touch it.
Right.
Don't even walk into the arena. I don't know what I'm saying, but
we've had to teach kids about, don't mess with the Ouija board.
Oh yeah. I remember being 8 or 9 in Southern California, and somebody said they had a Ouija board if I want to come and play, and I never heard that word before. And I hear letters, so I'm hearing WEEJEE, Ouija, and I thought, but my spirit went, something's wrong here. Something's really wrong. And I thought, it was nighttime. We were in the play yard at our school, and our parents were inside, and some little wiseacre says, "Oh, guys, I got a Ouija board." I just said, "I don't know what it is, dude, but stop it. Frisbee that, throw it out of here. Stop you. If you won't let it, you leave." And no kidding. It's
yeah. Stay away from that stuff.
So you did accelerated Christian education in Rosemond, in Occidental, and then you got pulled up. What happened? You got pulled higher into the executive realm of it, or what was the next move?
Yes, we had 10 years experience running schools, teaching kids through the individualized curriculum, Bible-based program, and we'd go to their conventions, their teachers' conventions and administrator seminars.
Yeah. And
a man named Ralph Rice, who was one of the main leaders at ACE, in charge of all those conventions, he was watching us, and we'd help him. We'd help out there, do whatever we could to be a servant. And he asked us if we'd like to come to Lewisville, Texas, and serve at the ACE headquarters. And he was in charge of school services, which helped start new Christian schools, helped train folks. And so we prayed about it, and we left family and friends, and all I knew was California for 33 years.
Yeah, you did.
And we took it to Texas, and we took Carlene's mother with us to be our nanny.
What a deal!
Because we didn't want our kids dropped off at people's houses we didn't know during the summer and babysitting. So she lived with us for 5 years there, and we ministered at ACE in Lewisville. It worked. It really did.
That's great. Sometimes you get a mother-daughter and they're in the same kitchen, and but that's cool. That's really that's a good testament to the grace of your mother or your wife's mother.
My wife's mother.
That's a good testament to the gracious spirit of both of them. Yeah,
it was.
That's
definitely was.
So Lewis and Tech, and when you got there, did you step out of your air-conditioned car and go, "Oh my word," or did you arrive in winter, or?
It was summer and it was hot, and they have thunderstorms and tornadoes, and North Texas is either too hot or too cold, one or the other.
Yeah.
The springs and falls are very short.
Yeah, it's not the North Bay temperate, because I know Oakland.
No.
Oakland is the most temperate city in the country, between 68 and 72 year around, and then Texas, you have highs of 105.
Oh, sometimes. I think we broke a record one summer there. We lived in Lewisville, I think, 7 years. One year it went 40 days in a row over 100.
Barbecue your house.
Like a furnace.
So, and you're doing ACE. Are you in the admin end, or are you still working with kids and students? And
We are in the admin, and we're helping train pastors and principals to start new schools. I helped visit schools in North Texas,
okay,
and I became kind of a supervisor of all our reps around
yeah,
the country that
yeah.
visited schools and helped start schools and things like that.
Awesome. And so you're in Texas, and then what? And you kept going east here, dude. You kind of left California at 33. Doesn't sound like you've been back, except to visit.
No, just to visit.
Just to visit. Yeah. And so you went on east, Florida. Florida.
Went to Florida.
Florida's next. Okay. And then what? So you're in Texas and Florida calls, or you're in Texas and let's go somewhere else now. And you start looking. What turned it to go to Florida?
ACE, Accelerated Christian Education, opened up an additional office in Largo, Florida, which became their administration office.
Okay.
And we told them we'd go if they wanted us to, and so we did. And so my role changed a little bit. After a couple years there, I became the manager of student conventions, which we had conventions to help kids develop their gifts, talents, and abilities. They could enter, they had 100 different events they can enter, but with music and academics and sports and you name it, arts and crafts. And so I administrated that convention and all the regional ones around the country, and did that for 4 years before we left ACE, which was a really fun ministry.
So you did ACE from 80-something to what? How long were you in
23 years, till about 2007.
Okay. So you were in there until like 13 years ago or so.
Correct.
So now these last 13 years, I remember you told me what you have been embroiled in, and I actually did a 360. You couldn't see it. I thought, are you kidding me? I didn't think that even existed in this country before. What you're doing now, I thought just stopped happening 2 generations ago. But tell us what you're doing now. And from Florida to Carolina and then now.
Yes, in Florida, we were finishing up with ACE, and we felt like the Lord was wanting us to do something different. And my gift has always been kids. And so at ACE, it was more administration, working with adults. And I just felt this urge to get back hands-on with kids. It's like if you were a teacher and you became a principal, wanting to go back to teaching again. And that's kind of what happened.
Yep,
and so we started working at Florida Baptist Children's Homes, which was group home setting. We were house parents, and we would be there, fill-in parents for kids who are abused, neglected. Maybe their parents are in prison. Not too many or have parents died, although once in a while we'd run into that. So they don't call them orphanages anymore.
They don't?
But on the East Coast,
whoa,
probably from Oklahoma, from the Midwest to East, there's still a lot of children's homes around.
Really?
Not out West, you don't see it much.
No.
But in the East Coast, there's still hundreds of them.
Wow, that is just news to me. That's amazing. So you have 300 kids that you're in a big cabin?
No.
How does this look? What's it look like?
We have in Florida, we worked at 6. We were called statewide lead house parents, where we would work 6 different campuses. There were like 14 different cottages, and in a cottage you would have between probably 6 and 8 kids. They wanted it to be, it wasn't like in the old days, you could have 100 kids in an orphanage and one lady's running the place.
Oh, wow.
That's what it was in the old days. So they changed the strategy to make it more of a family setting.
Yeah.
Where you could have little kids, you could have older kids, you could have boys, you could have girls, and depending on the house setup, depends on what the setup is. So like what we do now is we have a boys' cottage. I think our youngest is 12, our oldest is 17.
Okay.
And we can have, I think we're licensed to have 10, and we're licensed to have all ages. But usually they try to find foster homes for the younger foster kids, And they try to find family first. If a kid's taken from their family, they try to find family first. If they can't find family, then they try to find a foster home, and then if they can't, then they find group homes.
Okay, you have a supervisor above you, or someone who assigned you, or did you assign yourself here?
Florida stopped using house parents in their model.
Okay.
It's a long story. There's some politics involved.
Yep.
But basically, the Lord led us to North Carolina because they were still doing it, and we feel like this is our calling still.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just found a place that wanted us, and we wanted them. And so we run a house of 6 to 8 kids. Right now, we have 4 boys. We've worked this cottage with the COVID going on, where the kids, got kicked out of their schools in March.
Whoa.
And so we've had kids 24/7 with no school. We can't take them anywhere because they don't want them to get infected.
Yeah,
so it's been quite a interesting experience this summer.
Now your normal schedule is how many days off, how many days on, how many days on the road?
Right. We usually work, the schedule is supposed to be at this location 14 days on 24/7, and then you get 14 days off 24/7.
Okay. Yeah.
And we had another couple that helped us do that up until March, and they felt called to go work with disabled adults in Florida because that's where they were from.
Sure, yeah.
And so they left, and we haven't had anybody hired to take their place since March. So we ended up working 70 days in a row.
You worked 70
during
days
the COVID
straight.
With the kids there all day long and all night with no breaks. It has been one challenge. Whew, the Lord has given us grace, I'm telling you.
Well, I don't like everything about the corporation, but let me sing you a song. You deserve a break today. So get up and get away from McDuff. Forget it. Wow. So as we're wrapping up here in the final minute or so, you need prayer for
relief. We need workers. We need the laborers are few.
I think Jesus said that. Pray for more laborers for the harvest. Are you determined to give these kids the gospel?
We give it to them almost every day.
Okay,
we can take them to church. We do devotions at night, and just tonight again we shared the gospel with them.
Just like your own children. It's
exactly
the same thing. Yeah, I married a widow years ago, and in no time, these are my children. I didn't you're the step. I never used the word step. I told them I'm not going to step on you. Hope you don't step on me, but I'm never going to step. I never use the thing step kids. Step.
That's good.
No. And it's amazing. God puts love in your heart. He really does. And
it's
people look at me because, there's 10 of us all together, 10 of the kids. And people look at me, how in the world do you love them? I get so angry I want to throttle my own kids. How do you love all these kids? It just comes. You ask for it, it just comes. You ask for love in your heart, and it comes. Well, that's neat. And Keith, I didn't plan this. I didn't ask your permission. I wouldn't have asked your permission. If someone wants to help kick off your little kitty for your 40th anniversary to Kauai, and I can make a few calls there, and we can get you lined up. How does that happen? What do we do? How does somebody think? Something? God love these guys because there's trillions of dollars just floating around, and you need a breather. How would someone help for your little Hawaii kickoff fund? And I can get you to Kauai from there. A couple phone calls. What do you say? You want to start a little kitty fund? The not over the hill, but I'm fishing here, Keith. Help me out.
Well, I have never raised money for myself before. I've never had to do that. I've always been in ministries where they paid me.
Yeah. And
I didn't have to, although we've gone out and spoke for North Carolina Baptist at events, but anyway, I don't, a GoFundMe fund or something, I guess, but I'm not asking for this. You are.
I am. I'm okay. You got this, folks.
And of course, if people want to bless this, I don't want to take that blessing away.
Okay. But
from givers.
we'll. How do they find you? Where to say, hey, Keith, listen, I can peel off $1,000 for you. Start your Hawaii fund. Find
Well,
you
I'm
on
on Facebook. So
you're on Facebook.
You can find me Keith Hill on Facebook.
Well, you've got to not be. That's not a real strange name, Keith Hill. There's going to be more than one. Keith Hill,
Right.
Pembroke, North Carolina.
North Carolina, and I have Simpson on there. I'm a part of a Simpson group,
Okay.
and so they can find me on Facebook.
Okay. Well,
I give out my phone number if you want me to, and they can text me.
Yeah, we'll put that on your Facebook too, so that's good. Well, Keith Hill, Pembroke, North Carolina. If you want to kick in for his 40th anniversary fund, do it. I didn't. As God is my witness, I didn't plan this. This hit me. A couple minutes ago. So, yeah, I did this for Don Anderson for his Israel trip, and we passed the hat. Bam, we paid it off. I
remember Don.
Yeah, we finished his trip to Israel. So, anyhow, God is good. And that's the story of Keith Hill's life and his family, his wife, his children, his ministry, and the kids and the lives he touches. He's touched hundreds of kids' lives. And God be with you, Keith. This is really good news. So, folks, until next time, and we'll see you tomorrow. The Lord is here. The Lord is real. The Lord is powerful, strong, and He cares for you deeply. Cast your care upon Him, because He cares for you. Go in peace, go in strength, go in joy, and God be with you. Amen.